Think about the last time that you walked into a place and immediately you felt uncomfortable. Immediately you were like, when are we leaving? Was it the smell? Was it that the lights were too bright? Was it that the lights were too dark? Was it just dirty? What was it about that space that was so unattractive to you? You see, I want you to think now, let's go to a place that's the complete opposite. Maybe this is a friend's house. Maybe this is your grandparents' house. This is a place that, like, when you think about this place, as soon as you step in, you know it's going to be a good experience. Maybe it's the smells. Like I said, maybe the food smells good. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the colors just felt warm. What about this space made it so different than the other space? John 14:2 says, in my Father's house, there are many dwelling places, many rooms. And he goes on to say that he goes before us to prepare a room for us. Are we doing that in youth ministry for the young people that are coming to our places? Is it like a little mini experience of heaven? Or is it the complete opposite? And it's like, ooh, man, this is hell. I don't want nothing to do with this.
This is what Catholic youth ministry looks like.
Exploring the 5 M's of ministry.
With Brandon Morel, also known as a symbol.
Psalm 122:1 says, I was glad when they said to me, let us go to the house of the Lord. Now, when kids have had this type of connection with your place, with your space, where you meet, where you gather, in your parish, in the basement, wherever it is that they're at, and they hear, hey, let's go to the house of the Lord, let's go to the church. Is it something that immediately sparks joy? It sparks a sense of security and warmth? Or is it like a disgust? The physical space we gather in for youth ministry isn't just a backdrop. It actively shapes how young people engage with faith. If we're serious about creating encounter with Christ, we have to be serious about creating the right environments. Now, I've been places where we've had a budget. I've been places where we had no budget. I've been places where I've had to, just move some desks, move some chairs. There's times where I created a backdrop because we had fold-up tables and they were black fold-up tables. And I was like, okay, we're going to actually stand them up against the wall because the board was messed up. And I want to block that and give us a black backdrop. And then I'm going to add lights in the room to make it look kind of more engaging. There's been times where I just moved desks and chairs and seating. Sometimes I sat them in circles. Sometimes I sat them in rows. Sometimes I used 2 rooms, one for an open space so we can have active engagement and one with everything facing forward. There's times where I had TVs on the screen. There's times where I've used projectors. I've had limited and unlimited resources, it seems, and we have to really, really think about how we do this. You see, psychology tells us that environment affects mood and affects focus. Studies show that lighting, seating arrangements, and colors can affect how we focus and how we retain the information that we're being given. There's a reason why coffee shops feel one type of way. There's a reason why fast food places feel another way. You see, they're designed for specific experiences. Think about your favorite restaurant. There might be one that you like it because of the food, and there's other places that you like it because of the atmosphere. If you wanted to go on a date night, you kind of want a mix of both. You want to give your spouse, the person you're dating, the significant other, you want, hey, man, this is food you're going to remember, and you want them the moment they feel in, it feels like something elegant that they walked into. The Catechism at 1146 says, as a being, at once, body and spirit, man expresses and perceives spiritual realities through physical signs and symbols. So we interact with the world around us, and the colors, the images, they all have an effect on our spirit in some ways, on our soul in certain ways. I want to pause for a brief moment to let you know that this series was brought to you and it was produced by Kari Films. Kari Films is a Catholic media production company whose mission is to capture the beauty of the Catholic faith. They do this through capturing live events. They do this through podcasts, testimonials, music videos, and more. You can find out more about them in the description below. Now let's get back to it. You see, a welcoming space communicates value. A well-prepared space tells young people that you matter, that we thought about you. If they walk into a place that is like, oh man, we just got thrown in the side there, it's like, oh, well, y'all don't really care about us. But if you actually have bought materials and you've created colors and put up images that you think are relevant to them, they will know that this place was made for them. I've been to youth nights where you had to walk into a classroom, and I've been to youth nights where there's beanbags and couches and it feels like a home. Both have different connection points. Pope Francis says the church, once again, is not a home for some. It's not an elite club. It's a home for all people. Have we made it a home for our young people? The church has always prioritized spaces. I want you to think about cathedrals. I want you to think about chapels. I want you to think about our stained glass windows. I want you to think about how at different liturgical seasons we put up different colors. I want you to think about the candles and how they're used. I want you to think about all these things. I remember I watched this documentary years ago called Cathedrals, and it was actually like a series of how these churches were built and how it was meant to awaken awe and wonder when they stepped in from the world around them. St. John Paul II would take youth groups on hiking trips, demonstrating that space doesn't only have to be a building, but it should be intentional. However we're interacting with places, it should leave an impact on them. So, how do we actually design our youth ministry spaces in a way that foster faith, that foster engagement and belonging? Let's break it down a little bit more. You see, lighting sets the mood. You can even colors set the mood. Red evokes emotions, blue evokes emotions, purple, green, white, bright light, they all evoke emotions. Seating arrangement affects connection and communication. You know, I've been in places where, man, I remember one time, like our room, everything was set up, but the only chairs available to us were like these spinning, like office chairs. Those kids were distracted the whole time. Even though they were comfortable, they were just spinning and not listening to the message. So all of these things affect. Colors and visuals shape perception. Sometimes you may want to set up in a corner. Sometimes you want to set up in the front. I've set up retreats where it's like we want to set up everything in a circle and a stage in the middle because it creates a specific type of engagement. You can, if you have a little bit of a budget, you can invest in mobile walls, like movable things, little, dividers, sound systems, adaptable furniture that can move dynamically for different settings, for different moments. But beyond the aesthetics, the space should also match the purpose of each event. So you have social nights. Maybe you want some upbeat music and some flexible seating because they're going to be moving around. Maybe you have prayer and worship nights and you want to affect that a little bit differently. Maybe you have teaching and formation nights, and this is where places like the classroom is fine. I know maybe it sounded like I was being critical of the classroom, but I don't think every gathering. I think kids that are in school all week don't necessarily always want to come to youth night and come to another classroom. But think about it. The whiteboards may be helpful for doing things. The blackboards may be helpful for things. The screens, whatever you may need. The goal isn't only to make spaces look cool. It's to make them feel intentional, welcoming, and sacred. I want you to think what's one thing you could do maybe in the next month, maybe in the next 6 months, specifically where your youth group meets that can change the space. And I want you to drop that in the comments below. Maybe that is something that only won't help you, but it would also help someone else that reads it. Maybe by you writing it in the comment section, it'll make you be a little bit more accountable that you actually go and do it. And if this helps you in any way and you want to think a little bit more about how your space is and how all of our youth ministry can be more intentional, I want to invite you to like, to subscribe, to go to my website, bethesymbol.com, and sign up for the email list as I develop the 5 M's of youth ministry, a book, some training resources, and ways that we can just be more intentional and reach this next generation for Christ. I want to thank y'all for watching. Today we were talking about the meeting space. And my name is Brandon Morrell, the Symbol. God bless y'all. Peace.